Stella, welcome back to the programme.
Hi, Mishal. Thank you for having me.
How do you feel?
It's a whirlwind of emotions. I mean, I'm just elated. Frankly, it's just incredible. I don't know. It can't, feels like it's not real.
Well, tell us what the last day or perhaps even the days before that have been like. What are the conversations that led to the moment where Julian Assange was allowed to leave Belmarsh?
Well, it's been so touch and go. We weren't really sure until the last 24 hours that it was actually happening. And well, we were talking about I don't know what he needed to do and take from his cell, and I also had to pack things up and head out to Australia 24 hours before he left. So it's just been non-stop for the past, I think, 72 hours.
But touch and go because there was something on paper, on offer from the US authorities?
What there is an agreement in principle between Julian and the Department of Justice, and that has to be signed off by a judge in these Northern Mariana Territories island, which is in the Pacific Ocean, where he is going to be headed. He's currently in Bangkok on a layover. And once the judge signs off on it, then it is formally real. So I'm also a little bit limited as to what I can say right now about the agreement in principle.
But is it the case that it does involve him pleading guilty to one charge?
Yes, the charge concerns the Espionage Act and obtaining and disclosing national defense information.
And was that difficult for your husband to agree that he was guilty of?
Again, I don't want to say too much until it's been signed off by a judge. But the important thing here is that the deal involved time served, that if he signed it, he would be able to walk free.
So it's your understanding that once he's made that court appearance and this is essentially signed off by the judge, that he will be a free man?
He will be a free man once it has been signed off by the judge, and that will happen sometime tomorrow.
And was it part of it being touch and go? Was it because the US authorities wanted that court appearance to be on the mainland of the United States?
Well, it is under US jurisdiction, so the judge had to appear before a judge on US jurisdiction. But I think the important context here is that Julian had just won his permission to appeal before the High Court, and that the single issue before that, the appeal, concerned Julian's ability to invoke the First Amendment in relation to the publications. And that is when we've seen a development in relation to an agreement.
Can you explain that a bit more? Because that relates to Julian appealing to the High Court here, but it unlocked this development between him and the US.
Well, this is my interpretation, that when we've finally seen a breakthrough is when Julian was successful, and that the issue of his right under constitutional protections to freedom of the press, this was the issue that the British courts were going to look at. That's when we saw a breakthrough in relation to an agreement between the parties.
Okay. So in these last 72 hours, the crucial 72 hours, were you having these discussions with him in Belmarsh?
I was having discussions with Julian about, about his freedom. And for me, as his wife and all of our family, the priority has always been that Julian should be able to be free to regain his freedom. And he has been in Belmarsh prison for over 5 years in relation to this outrageous case, which is criminalizing the publication and disclosure of information that incriminates states.
Does he accept, or will he now accept through this, anything relating to what the US authorities have long argued, that he endangered lives?
Well, again, I can't really talk about this until it's been formalized. The deal itself will be made public, and I think it's a very interesting deal. It will be, I think. I'm sorry, I can't really talk about it in detail. I certainly have views about the deal, but I don't want to jeopardize anything.
I understand. Tell us about you and your children, your sons. You've brought them to Australia with you?
Yes, we took a flight on Sunday morning, and we flew into Sydney.
And what did you tell them? Because you've been on air with us before alongside Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe talking about what it's like for families when someone is imprisoned. So have you told the children that their father is going to be free and is going to be part of the family?
Not yet. All I told them was that there was a big surprise, and on the morning that we left, I told them we were heading to the airport, and we got on the plane, and I told them that we were going to visit our family, their cousin, their grandfather, and so on. And they still don't know. We've been very careful because obviously no one can stop a 5 and a 7-year-old from shouting it from the rooftops at any given moment. And because of the sensitivity around the judge having to sign off the deal, we've been very careful, just gradually, incrementally telling them information. They're very excited to be in Australia, though.
Will you tell them before they see him? Because they've never seen. You will tell them, but because they have never seen him outside the prison, or for the older one, the Ecuadorian embassy.
They've never seen him. No, they've never seen him outside of Belmarsh. All their interactions with Julian have been in a single visitor's room inside Belmarsh prison. It's always been for a little more than an hour at a time. It's been very restrictive. He can't walk around. He can't go to the tuck shop. He wasn't able to go to the tuck shop and buy a chocolate or anything. You see, I still have to. I have to change my tenses now. It's been so long that I'm not used to talking about Julian free in the present.
Yeah. I have to say, having talked to you a few times in the last few years, you look completely different this morning. There's the look on your face is entirely transformed. What can you say about what life is going to be like? What does Julian plan to do once he's free?
Well, we haven't even had an opportunity to have a long conversation about this, and I think we don't even know. The priority now is for Julian to get healthy again. He's been in a terrible state for 5 years. To just be in contact with nature, that's what we both desire for now, and to have time and privacy, and just start this new chapter.
You've certainly never been a normal family, have you? You've never had any normal family life?
No, it's always been quite extraordinary, but I'm just so emotional now about, this is finally over.
But you are going to make your home in Australia now, is that right? Because you've obviously been living in the UK, but is this the start of a new chapter in every way for your family?
Yes, I think so.
Stella Assange, thank you very much for talking to us about your husband, Julian Assange, and also about what this means for you and your family life. Thank you.